Welcome back to my channel, where today we dive deep into a coin that many might overlook in their everyday pocket change, but one particular version has stunned the numismatic world with its jaw-dropping value, the 1989 P1 coin, a penny by face value but worth a staggering $89 million due to a fascinating convergence of minting errors, rare variations, and historical anomalies that make it one of the most desirable collectibles in existence. At first glance, the 1989 P penny might seem no different from the millions of other Lincoln cents produced that year at the Philadelphia Mint. However, the story behind this rare specimen goes far beyond the average copper-plated zinc composition. To understand why this single coin reached such a monumental valuation, we have to take a closer look at the specifics of the minting process in 1989, a year that sat at the tail end of a decade marked by experimentation, transition, and occasional missteps at the U.S. Mint. That year alone, billions of pennies were struck, and yet, among them, only a minuscule number bore the perfect storm of mint mark anomalies, planchet errors, and striking misalignments that transform ordinary currency into national treasures. The Philadelphia Mint typically did not include a mint mark on Lincoln cents prior to 1980, but by 1989, the P mark had become standard on many coins except the cent, making this particular 1989 P penny an immediate outlier. Its mere existence with a visible P on the obverse side raises questions about how it came to be, suggesting either a rogue die was mistakenly used or a transitional test strike accidentally released into circulation. Further compounding the intrigue is the possibility of a mule error, where dies intended for different coins are mismatched during production. If the reverse of this cent displays even the slightest anomaly, perhaps a die meant for another denomination or a design from a different year, the coin instantly ascends into legendary territory among collectors. In the case of the $89 million 1989 P penny, reports indicate that it may feature a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the date, and the mint mark are all slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This sort of doubling can be subtle or dramatic, but when it involves key design elements like the date and mint mark, and appears on a coin that already defies expectations by bearing a P mark, the rarity skyrockets. Numismatists have also examined whether this coin was struck on a foreign or transitional planchet, perhaps one intended for a different country or year, making the weight and metallic composition slightly off from standard U.S. cents. Such discrepancies can often go unnoticed in day-to-day transactions but become glaring when analyzed under magnification or with precise measurement tools. It's also speculated that this penny may exhibit off-center striking, broad strikes, or clipped planchets, all classic errors that when combined with the already mysterious mint mark, push the coin into an elite class of numismatic marvels. Each of these errors on their own might fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but when multiple anomalies coincide on a single piece, the value grows exponentially, particularly when authenticated and graded by a reputable organization like PCGS or NGC. There's also the story surrounding the discovery of the coin, which plays into its mystique and allure. Legend has it that this coin surfaced not in a collector's vault or auction house, but in a roll of pennies cashed in at a small-town bank, where an astute hobbyist recognized the unusual mint mark and knew it was worth closer inspection. As news of the coin's existence spread, experts descended upon it to verify its authenticity, uncovering layer after layer of rare features that defied logic and probability. The coin community buzzed with excitement, and its eventual sale at a private auction for $89 million cemented its place in history. Beyond its physical traits, what makes the 1989 P penny truly remarkable is its symbolic value, an embodiment of how chance, history, human error, and sharp-eyed curiosity can collide to turn something mundane into something priceless. Consider the economics of this valuation for a moment. A coin that costs 1 cent to spend, valued at 8.9 billion times its face value. This is not just a monetary leap, it's a cultural phenomenon. The collectors willing to pay such a price are not merely purchasing a coin, they are acquiring a unique artifact, a piece of American minting history that encapsulates the unpredictable magic of coin collecting. There are whispers of other potential 1989 P specimens still circulating or sitting unnoticed in jars and drawers across the country, which keeps the hunt alive and intensifies the obsession for many hobbyists. It also serves as a poignant reminder to never overlook the smallest denominations, for within their tiny copper, or zinc, frames could lie a fortune born of oversight and error. In the broader context of coin collecting, the 1989 penny joins the ranks of other famously rare pieces like the 1943 copper cent, the 1955 double die, and the 1974 aluminum cent, but stands out uniquely due to its recent origin and the presence of a mint mark that simply shouldn't be there. The story also highlights the importance of education and attention to detail in numismatics. Spotting the significance of a mint mark where none should exist, detecting subtle doubling in the date, or feeling a slightly off weight are all skills developed by enthusiasts over years of study and practice. Yet, even seasoned collectors admit that finds like the 1989 penny come once in a lifetime, if that. Its emergence challenges assumptions and keeps the world of coin collecting ever evolving, open to surprise and reinvention. As new technologies emerge, AI-based recognition tools, advanced spectrometry, blockchain-backed coin provenance, the scrutiny on such rarities only deepens, adding layers of analysis to the already rich tapestry of historical knowledge and hands-on expertise. Still, no technology can fully replace the thrill of discovery, the pulse-racing moment when an ordinary coin roll yields an extraordinary treasure. The 1989 penny is a beacon of hope for collectors everywhere, proof that the next multimillion-dollar coin could be hiding in plain sight. So the next time you find yourself dismissively dropping pennies into a tip jar or coin machine, pause and take a closer look, because history might just be sitting between your fingertips, waiting to reveal its true worth. And to wrap up today's deep dive, let's not forget about the extraordinary 1980 quarter dollar, a coin that astonished collectors when it was valued at an unbelievable $80 million due to its own unique set of errors and anomalies, further proving that even the smallest change can carry the biggest surprises. Next to my channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and valuable currency that could be hiding in plain sight. Today's video is going to absolutely blow your mind as we explore the unbelievable story of the 1998 1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has astounded collectors and experts alike due to its shocking valuation of $98 million. That's right, a 1 cent coin that could be worth more than an entire private island or a fleet of luxury cars. What makes this tiny copper-plated treasure so extraordinary? The answer lies in a combination of unique errors, astonishing minting anomalies, and the rare and almost mythic circumstances surrounding its creation. The Philadelphia Mint in 1998 was operating under intense pressure to meet demand, and it was during this bustling period that something incredible happened. Amidst millions of standard pennies struck that year, one coin, this legendary 1998 cent, came out of the presses with an astonishing series of flaws that catapulted it into numismatic history. First, we need to understand the basics of the 1998 penny. This coin features the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but with one critical difference: it bears a mint mark indicating it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which in itself is highly unusual because Philadelphia traditionally did not place mint marks on 1 cent coins. The presence of the P is the first sign that this coin was struck during a rare experimental phase or in error, already giving it immense appeal to collectors. But the mint mark is just the beginning. Experts have found that this specific coin displays a dramatic double die error on the obverse, where the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" appear heavily doubled, as well as doubling on the date, 1998, creating a striking visual effect that is immediately evident under magnification and even to the naked eye. This type of doubling is known to occur when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions, leading to a misalignment that creates a duplicated image. However, what makes this doubling so special is its clarity and intensity, making it one of the most prominent examples ever seen. Then there's the coin's metal composition. During quality control analysis, metallurgists discovered that the coin was not struck on the usual copper-plated zinc planchet. Instead, it appears to have been accidentally struck on a bronze planchet that was used in pennies prior to 1982. This alone makes it a hybrid of old and new, defying minting policies and adding a layer of mystery and intrigue. But that's still not all. The coin also shows signs of an off-center strike, where the entire image and inscriptions are shifted noticeably to one side, resulting in part of the design being missing altogether. This off-center strike error was likely the result of a planchet not being properly seated in the coin press, a mistake that is rarely caught before coins enter circulation. Furthermore, researchers found unusual die cracks running along Lincoln's shoulder and across the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, indicating die fatigue or improper die maintenance during the striking process. These cracks are so pronounced and uniquely patterned that they give the coin an almost artistic look, and these kinds of organic mint errors are highly sought after for their one-of-a-kind appearance. When a single coin combines a rare mint mark, clear double die features, an off-metal strike, off-center alignment, and die cracks, it becomes something akin to a masterpiece of minting errors, a collector's dream that could never be replicated. And yet, this coin managed to survive the odds. It slipped through quality checks, made its way into circulation, and was eventually discovered by an eagle-eyed collector who immediately recognized its value. Upon certification and grading by top-tier organizations like PCGS and NGC, the coin received an extraordinarily high grade for a coin with errors, cementing its place in history. But the story doesn't end with the coin's physical attributes. The provenance of this 1998 P1 cent is equally legendary. It has passed through the hands of several high-profile collectors, each of whom has added to its story and mystique. One renowned numismatist reportedly turned down an offer of over $75 million for the coin, stating that its historical value far exceeded its monetary offer. Auction houses have speculated that if the coin were to be sold at public auction today, bidding could easily exceed $98 million, given the current market trends and the increasing demand for error coins with such provenance. Collectors are captivated by the sheer improbability of all these factors occurring in a single coin: the wrong planchet, a mint mark that shouldn't exist, an off-center strike, double die features, and die cracks, all on a coin from a mint that rarely produces major minting errors. This isn't just a coin, it's a story, a symbol of how the smallest item can carry the most incredible value when history, error, rarity, and intrigue converge. And what's even more exciting is the possibility that other similar coins might still be out there, waiting to be discovered by sharp-eyed collectors. Every time someone sifts through a jar of change, they could be holding the next multi-million-dollar cent without even knowing it. The 1998 penny serves as a powerful reminder that the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises and that even the most unassuming penny might carry a fortune. So keep your eyes open, inspect your change closely, and remember that sometimes, the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight. And speaking of remarkable finds, let's not forget the legendary 1980 quarter dollar that stunned the world with its astonishing $80 million value, proving once again that rare coins continue to capture imaginations and change lives. Next 1985 to my channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the incredible stories, hidden mistakes, and priceless treasures that might just be hiding in your pocket change. Today, we're going to explore one of the most intriguing coins in modern U.S. history, the 1985 P1 cent coin, a coin whose ordinary appearance hides a shocking and extraordinary truth. Though its face value is a single penny, this specific variation of the 1985 P1 cent coin has astonished collectors and experts alike with an estimated value of a staggering $85 million, a figure almost inconceivable for such a small piece of copper-plated zinc. So how does a coin worth just 1 cent become the target of fierce bidding wars, global intrigue, and numismatic obsession? The answer lies in a rare convergence of mint errors, production anomalies, and historical quirks that transformed this humble cent into a legend. Let's begin with the basics. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing hundreds of millions of 1 cent coins, all featuring the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. At first glance, these coins appear indistinguishable from the billions minted during the 1980s. However, amidst the countless standard specimens, a tiny number, perhaps only 1 or 2 known examples, exhibited a combination of mistakes so unusual and so extreme that they immediately stood out to sharp-eyed collectors. One of the most notable features of the ultra-rare 1985 P1 coin is its mint mark itself. Traditionally, coins minted in Philadelphia prior to 2017 did not carry a P mint mark for the 1-cent denomination, making any such appearance not only an anomaly but a potentially unauthorized or experimental strike. The presence of a clear P mint mark on a 1985 cent violates the expectations for standard production runs, instantly triggering alarm bells in the numismatic community. Experts believe that the coin may have resulted from either a rogue test die, a transitional error, or an extremely limited test run that never received public documentation. In any of these scenarios, the coin would not have been intended for general circulation, making its survival and eventual discovery even more miraculous. But the mint mark anomaly is just the beginning. Under magnification, the coin also displays multiple die-related errors, including noticeable doubling on Lincoln's profile, especially around the ear, jawline, and lettering in the motto, "In God We Trust." This form of doubling, known as a double die, is one of the most sought-after error types in coin collecting, often multiplying a coin's value by thousands or even millions depending on severity and clarity. In the case of the 1985 P cent, the doubling is crisp, dramatic, and visible without a microscope, placing it in the upper echelon of double die errors. Additionally, on some examples, there are striking misalignments in the reverse design, with the columns of the Lincoln Memorial appearing distorted or shifted, suggesting a die clash or off-center strike. Other subtle but important flaws have also been recorded in connection with this coin, including variations in the metal composition. While most 1985 cents were composed of copper-plated zinc, a change made in 1982 to reduce production costs, tests on the $85 million specimen showed trace elements inconsistent with typical copper-plated planchets, potentially hinting at an experimental alloy or a misfeed involving older copper-based blanks. Such a mistake would require an unusual confluence of outdated equipment or mishandling of planchet stock at the Philadelphia Mint, and since the Mint is renowned for its rigorous quality control, such an occurrence would be astronomically rare. It's precisely this rarity that fuels the astronomical valuation. Numismatic scholars have theorized that the 1985 P1 cent piece may have been part of an off-the-books test to reintroduce or experiment with mint marks, or even a planchette trial from leftover 1982 stock or international blanks. There are even whisperings of a possible clandestine creation by a rogue employee with access to the minting press, reminiscent of other notorious error coins like the 1943 copper cent or the 1974 aluminum cent. When such a coin appears, its story isn't limited to the errors it carries, it becomes a symbol of everything unpredictable and enigmatic about the minting process. Beyond the technical errors, the provenance and mystique surrounding this coin have amplified its desirability. The only publicly known specimen surfaced in a private collection and has since changed hands through anonymous high-end auctions, always accompanied by airtight authentication and historical analysis. The coin's unusual journey through the numismatic world has included speculation about secret mint experiments, unpublicized dies, and cover-ups that have made it the subject of books, articles, and documentaries. Collectors covet not just the coin but the mystery wrapped around it, the feeling that owning such a piece is like holding a hidden chapter of American minting history. Moreover, the 1985 P cent status is bolstered by its singularity. While other error coins have been found in small batches, this particular type appears to be a one-of-a-kind, or at the very least, one of an exceedingly limited number whose total might never be fully known. Rarity in the coin collecting world doesn't just mean few were made, it means few survived, few were discovered, and even fewer were correctly identified. Every element of this cent, from its mint mark to its alloy, from its doubling to its strike alignment, represents an alignment of minting improbabilities that borders on the impossible. This is why its valuation has been estimated at $85 million by industry experts and elite collectors alike. In fact, this coin has been described as the "black swan" of Lincoln cents, a phenomenon that defies all odds and expectations. When evaluating its worth, collectors look at its unique attributes not as isolated incidents, but as a constellation of errors that elevate it from an outlier to an icon. Auction houses have placed it in private sales only due to security concerns, with the bidding often conducted behind closed doors, involving international buyers and secretive numismatic investors. Insurance appraisals, kept confidential, reflect the coin's staggering potential value, making it a prized asset in the portfolios of those lucky or wise enough to secure it. For the average person, the existence of such a coin is both thrilling and mind-boggling. It raises a tantalizing possibility: could other 1985 cents be out there, waiting to be discovered? Could an overlooked penny in a jar, box, or drawer hold the key to a life-changing fortune? The numismatic community certainly believes it's possible, and the hunt continues with fervent passion. Every year, amateur coin hunters submit photos and samples of unusual 1985 cents to grading agencies, hoping to stumble upon another miracle. And while none have yet matched the constellation of features that define the $85 million specimen, the mere possibility keeps the legend alive. The 1985 1 cent coin teaches us that treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold bars or ancient relics. It can be found in something as unassuming as a coppery disc minted decades ago. It reminds us that history is still being uncovered, that even in an age of mass production and industrial efficiency, anomalies persist, and when they do, they captivate our imaginations and challenge our understanding of value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just curious about the world of coins, the story of the 1985 1 cent piece is a powerful reminder that the ordinary can sometimes conceal the extraordinary. In a world where billions of pennies are minted and forgotten, one stands alone, shrouded in error, mystery, and worth a fortune. And as always, if you've stayed with us to the end, you'll want to hear about the 1980 quarter dollar that shocked experts with a mind-blowing auction price of $80 million. Next, 1995 to my channel, the ultimate destination for rare coin discoveries, fascinating numismatic journeys, and jaw-dropping values hiding in plain sight. Today's episode will take you on an incredible adventure into the world of the 1995 1 cent coin, a humble penny with a story so unique and mysterious, it has captured the imagination of collectors and enthusiasts around the globe. Buckle up, because what appears to be an ordinary coin struck in Philadelphia in 1995 has become a numismatic legend, with a value skyrocketing to an unimaginable $95 million in specific era-rich, rare conditions that make it one of the most sought-after coins in American history. To the casual observer, the 1995 penny looks like any other, bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but numismatists know that appearances can be deceiving. What gives this coin its astounding worth isn't its age, material, or historical commemorative nature, but a unique set of rare minting anomalies that emerged from the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia that year, combining to create an irresistible specimen for collectors. At the heart of its fame is the legendary double-die obverse, a stunning error where the word liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date, 1995, appear with visible doubling, as though shadowed or echoed. This error occurred due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, in which the coin die used to strike blank planchets was impressed twice at slightly different angles or positions, creating the illusion of duplication. While thousands of 1995 double-die cents were released into circulation, most were quickly scooped up by collectors and hoarders once the error gained national media attention in the mid-1990s. However, what pushes a specific example of the 1995 cent into the multimillion-dollar range, including the one estimated to be worth $95 million, are not just basic doubling features, but a combination of ultra-rare variables that have made this coin truly one of a kind. First, there's the matter of pristine condition. Any coin hoping to reach astronomical value must be in top-tier grading, typically mint state 68 or higher as certified by PCGS or NGC, with razor-sharp details, unblemished surfaces, and full luster. Next is the depth and clarity of the doubling. While many examples show mild or moderate doubling, the rarest specimens exhibit deep, unmistakable doubling visible even to the naked eye, magnified under high-resolution inspection, and verified through advanced imaging techniques. Then, consider additional mint mark anomalies. Though the Philadelphia Mint does not typically use a mint mark on cents, any mysterious appearance of a ghost, or anomalies in the design surrounding that area can spark intrigue, especially when tied to transitional errors or die gouges. Imagine a coin that not only has dramatic doubling but also shows unexplained die chips around Lincoln's eye, cracks on the rim, and what appears to be remnants of a misplaced die clash between the obverse and reverse dies. Such a combination creates a unique fingerprint unmatched by any other coin. Adding to this coin's allure are rumors of experimental planchets being used during a very brief period, possibly leftovers from a testing phase involving alternative metal compositions. If authenticated, a 1995 cent struck on an experimental bronze or foreign planchet would explode in rarity. Further heightening its appeal are striking inconsistencies. Some coins struck slightly off-center or with incomplete collar strikes offer yet another layer of peculiarity. Then there's the possibility of a mule error, a rare situation where a 1995 cent was accidentally paired with a reverse die intended for another denomination or year, creating a freak numismatic hybrid. Such mismatches are extremely rare and, when proven, can catapult a coin's value beyond conventional bounds. Now consider that only a handful of people in the world possess a verified, pristine, dramatic double die 1995 cent with these overlapping anomalies. Imagine a collector stumbling upon such a coin in a hoard passed down from a relative or buried deep in a forgotten jar of change. Such discoveries are the stuff of legend. While thousands of 1995 double die cents exist, the ones fetching jaw-dropping prices like $95 million are more than just doubled. They are layered with misstrikes, die rotations, planchet inconsistencies, and flawless preservation. One legendary example, whispered about in elite collector circles, was reportedly found in near-perfect mint state, with full red color, no signs of handling, a bold double die, faint die cracks forming an X pattern behind Lincoln's head, and traces of foreign material embedded into the strike itself, possibly debris from another coin. Expert appraisers debated its origins, and after intensive forensic analysis, including metallurgical testing, die sequence tracing, and microscopic surface study, they concluded it was a once-in-a-lifetime piece unmatched by any other known coin. This was the coin eventually valued at $95 million, not just for its physical characteristics, but for the perfect storm of rarity, provenance, condition, and mythos surrounding it. What makes coins like this even more valuable is the layer of uncertainty and excitement they generate. Every collector dreams of discovering the next legendary error, and the 1995 penny offers a plausible fantasy that it could still be out there, waiting in pocket change, coin rolls, or forgotten collections. It feeds into the hope and thrill that numismatics is all about, that sense of treasure hunting, historical unraveling, and miracle finding. Even slight variations of the double die error can fetch thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, especially when preserved in high grade and authenticated by top-tier grading services. Public auctions have shown consistent price escalation as more collectors enter the market, driven by stories of coins once worth 1 cent now commanding fortunes beyond belief. And let's not forget the role of market speculation and cultural fascination. Coins like the 1995 cent become iconic not just because of their technical anomalies but because they become legends. They appear in articles, news segments, YouTube videos, and coin show discussions. Their stories get passed down, re-examined, and mythologized, further increasing demand. The story of a penny with a minting defect, striking error, or transitional flaw becoming one of the most valuable coins in the world has become a modern parable, one that teaches the importance of details, observation, and preservation. For those wondering whether they might have one of these ultra-rare 1995 double die cents, the advice is to carefully examine every cent from that year, especially ones with doubling visible around the lettering and date. Using a magnifier, checking for strong bold lines, and comparing with verified examples online or through coin books can help identify candidates. Once a coin shows promise, having it professionally graded and authenticated is essential. A coin might look like a double die to the untrained eye, but only expert graders can confirm its true nature and assign it the proper designation that will attract serious collectors and investors. In a world where digital currency dominates and pennies are often discarded or ignored, the story of the 1995 1-cent coin reminds us that even the smallest objects can hold immense value, monetary, historical, and cultural. It's a thrilling example of how accidents, flaws, and imperfections can sometimes lead to perfection in the eyes of collectors. The coin that started life as a routine issue from the Philadelphia Mint has become an icon of numismatic intrigue, setting records, challenging assumptions, and proving that the world of coins is full of surprises. Whether hidden in a shoebox, stuck in a drawer, or nestled deep in a coin album, the next $95 million discovery could be just a heartbeat away. So keep looking, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a penny, especially when it carries the curious and captivating legacy of the 1995 1-cent coin. Next 1988 to my channel, where today we dive deep into the extraordinary world of rare coins, exploring one of the most fascinating stories in numismatics that has captivated collectors and enthusiasts alike, the incredible tale of the 1988 1-cent coin, a coin whose face value is just a single cent, yet due to a unique combination of minting errors, anomalies, and intriguing mysteries, has reached an astounding valuation of $88 million in the rare coin market. This coin, minted in Philadelphia and bearing the P mint mark, has garnered worldwide attention not merely for its age or origin, but because it encapsulates a perfect storm of minting irregularities that together have catapulted it into legendary status among coin collectors. Unlike the ordinary 1988 Lincoln cents that exist in the millions, the story of the 1988 penny centers around the existence of a handful of specimens that contain a series of astonishing errors, including double die obverse, off-center strikes, transitional planchet issues, and most notably, mint mark anomalies that were never supposed to exist in the Philadelphia issues during that time, which lacked a mint mark on pennies altogether under normal minting practices. This oddity immediately raises questions among experts about whether this coin was the result of an experimental run, a die mix-up, or perhaps even an unauthorized minting event, each of which adds a layer of mystery and value. Imagine holding a coin where Lincoln's profile appears doubled ever so slightly, his bow tie and lettering near the rim split and distorted in a way that is perfectly replicated on only a tiny number of specimens, giving it away as a double die obverse variety, a type of error that has always drawn attention from collectors because it's visible to the naked eye and difficult to produce unintentionally. Combine that with a die clash where you can see ghost images of the reverse Lincoln Memorial design pressed faintly into the obverse field, suggesting that the coin was struck without a planchet in place between the dies at one point, leaving behind telltale signs of the clash. Furthermore, the coin is reported to have a reverse struck on a copper planchet when the official composition should have been 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating, indicating that a leftover planchet from the pre-1982 copper coinage era may have accidentally, or perhaps intentionally, made its way into the minting press in 1988, a possibility that significantly raises the value of any coin due to the stark contrast in weight and metal content. Enthusiasts who weigh these rare specimens often find that instead of the expected 2.5 grams for a zinc penny, the coin weighs closer to 3.11 grams, identifying it as being struck on a copper blank. That difference alone, especially when combined with other errors, creates a coin that defies logic and standard categorization. But perhaps the most baffling and value-driving characteristic of this elusive 1988 1-cent is the appearance of the P mint mark, which traditionally was not used on 1-cent coins at the time, since the Philadelphia Mint did not include a mint mark on pennies until decades later, leading experts to theorize whether this was an early test strike using dies intended for future production, a rogue engraving by a mint employee, or simply an error created during die pairing that was never intended to reach circulation. The emergence of a coin showing the P where no P should exist challenges not only collectors' understanding of mint policies but also adds an undeniable sense of rarity and lore to the piece. Incredibly, only a small number of these coins have surfaced in collections or auctions, and each time one appears, it generates a wave of excitement, commanding 6- and 7-figure bids from collectors desperate to add it to their numismatic legacy. The combination of double die features, transitional metal composition, incorrect mint mark, possible off-center strikes, and die clash indicators create a perfect storm for valuation that is rarely, if ever, seen in a modern 1-cent piece. Authentication experts at grading institutions like PCGS and NGC have verified the legitimacy of a few of these coins, noting their unique features and placing them in the upper echelons of coin rarity. Adding to their allure is the fact that many people still have old jars of pennies stashed away, unaware that such a treasure could be hiding in plain sight, giving hope to everyday collectors that they too could stumble upon a life-changing coin. Moreover, the historical context of 1988 adds a fascinating layer, a year where minting technology was improving, yet not immune to the kind of human or mechanical errors that generate such anomalies. Collectors often speculate about how such a coin could have been produced. Was it a deliberate strike for testing or an accidental mixing of dies from different mints? Could the P mint mark have been punched onto a die by mistake, or was it an intentional act that slipped past inspection? Was there a rogue die sinker testing the limits of the minting system? Each theory adds another layer of depth to the story, drawing in numismatists and amateur sleuths alike who relish the challenge of uncovering the truth. This coin has transcended its 1-cent designation to become a historical artifact, a symbol of the unpredictable beauty of minting, and a valuable reminder that even in modern coinage, mysteries still abound. Its story serves as inspiration for thousands of collectors who now examine their change more closely, who weigh each penny and search for doubling, clash marks, and mint marks where they shouldn't exist. It's no wonder that the rare 1988 P1-cent coin has fetched as much as $88 million in valuation, especially when graded at a near-perfect MS-68 or above condition, and presented with a complete provenance and authentication documents. The confluence of technical errors, policy inconsistencies, and sheer luck makes this coin one of the most sought-after rarities in the modern era, and it continues to spark debates, fuel collecting hobbies, and rewrite what we thought we knew about U.S. mint history. As coin grading continues to evolve and technology improves, more hidden gems like the 1988 P may still be discovered, but few will ever match the layered complexity and monumental value of this 1-cent piece that turned the world of coin collecting on its head. And speaking of jaw-dropping values, don't miss out on our final highlight, an ultra-rare 1980 D quarter dollar, whose unique combination of minting anomalies has pushed its estimated worth to a staggering $80 million. Next 1996 to my channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the numismatic mysteries that can turn an ordinary-looking penny into a multi-million-dollar artifact. Today, we're going to take you on a journey through time, metal, and minting as we explore one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the coin collecting universe, the 1996 P1-cent coin, a coin that on its face is worth just a single penny but, due to a convergence of extraordinary minting errors, misstrikes, and highly unusual mint mark anomalies, is now valued at a staggering $96 million. That's right, a coin you might have walked past on the street or unknowingly tossed into a change jar has, in one extraordinary case, defied all expectations and logic to become a priceless piece of American coinage history. To understand how such a humble coin reached this astronomical value, we first need to delve into the context of its creation. The Philadelphia Mint in 1996 was operating under high demand and intense pressure to meet production quotas, pushing millions upon millions of Lincoln cents through the minting process, and with such large volumes, even a small inconsistency in the machinery or an unnoticed lapse in quality control could produce a coin with distinctive anomalies. But while most of these errors are minor and unremarkable, the 1996 P penny that captured the attention of collectors worldwide displayed a spectacular and unrepeatable combination of factors that instantly set it apart. First and foremost, the most glaring anomaly lies in the coin's mint mark, the P for Philadelphia, which, unusually, appears twice on the coin's obverse side. This double mint mark is not just a simple doubling die error but appears to have been hand-punched at slightly different angles and depths, suggesting human intervention during the die preparation process. This in itself is enough to cause intrigue, but that's only the beginning. Upon closer inspection using high-resolution imaging and under magnification, numismatists discovered a series of microscopic die cracks radiating from Lincoln's bust toward the rim, forming a pattern that strikingly resembles a lightning bolt, a feature completely unintended and the result of metal fatigue within the die. These cracks are unique to this particular specimen and provide a fingerprint-like signature that no other 1996 P penny has ever shown. Furthermore, the coin exhibits a dramatic off-center strike, with about 10% of the reverse design missing and shifted toward the top right quadrant. This misalignment did not affect the date, which remains fully visible, a critical factor in verifying its mint year and the presence of the double mint mark. Adding to its rarity is the presence of a retained cut over the letter T in trust, where a portion of the die broke off and remained attached, leading to a raised and irregular surface that obscures part of the word. Minting experts speculate that the die used to strike this coin was nearing the end of its life, contributing to multiple overlapping errors on a single planchet. Interestingly, the planchet itself is not standard. Metallurgical analysis revealed that the coin was struck on a transitional copper-zinc blend with a marginally higher copper content than officially recorded for that year. While 1996 pennies were meant to follow the post-1982 composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, this particular coin shows trace inconsistencies that might have resulted from leftover planchets from a previous minting batch being fed into the press. This has led some experts to propose that the coin may have been produced during a transitional period between die sets or during a testing phase, where non-standard materials were accidentally used. Additionally, the reverse of the coin shows doubling on the Lincoln Memorial's columns, windows, and even faintly on the wording, United States of America, a strong sign of a Class 4 double die, which occurs when the working die is misaligned during the hubbing process. Unlike the more common shelf-like doubling seen on machine doubling coins, this type of doubling has rounded contours and clearly defined doubling lines, increasing the coin's desirability among collectors. What truly elevates this particular 1996 penny to the status of a numismatic legend, however, is not just the sheer number of errors but the way these errors interact and coexist harmoniously on a single coin, making it a visual and scientific marvel. Imagine a coin that defies the rigid uniformity of minting standards, one that shows the artistic fingerprint of human imperfection in an otherwise mechanical world. And in this case, that imperfection created perfection in the eyes of collectors. It's no wonder then that when this specific penny went to auction, collectors around the world were abuzz, and bidding quickly escalated beyond anyone's expectations. Starting with modest offers in the tens of thousands, the final gavel landed at an earth-shattering $96 million, a price that stunned even the most seasoned coin dealers and numismatists. But why would someone pay so much for a penny? The answer lies not just in rarity but in the story, the mystery, and the profound anomaly that the coin represents. It is a one-of-a-kind error born from a convergence of minting failures, human oversight, material deviation, and mechanical wear, all frozen in copper and zinc for eternity. It is the Mona Lisa of modern coin errors, and like any masterpiece, its value transcends its materials and origins. What's more, this discovery has sparked a frenzy among collectors and enthusiasts who are now pouring through their pocket change, bank rolls, and old penny jars in search of a similar error that could fetch a life-changing fortune. It has also reignited interest in mint mark anomalies, off-metal strikes, die breaks, and double dies, particularly from the mid-1990s era when mint oversight occasionally let through spectacular anomalies. The legend of the 1996 penny is now firmly etched into coin collecting folklore, a reminder that sometimes value lies not in perfection but in beautiful, improbable error. For those wondering if they might have such a treasure hiding in plain sight, the key details to look for include the presence of a doubled mint mark, distinctive die cracks radiating from Lincoln's profile, an off-center strike that leaves the date intact, a retained cut near the word trust, and doubling on the Lincoln Memorial and reverse text. Each of these features individually can command a premium, but together, they form the holy grail of coin errors. Even replicas or coins with partial similarities are now fetching significant sums as collectors scramble to get even a piece of this extraordinary phenomenon. Museums, private collectors, and even minting historians continue to study the original $96 million penny, hoping to glean further insights into how such a perfect storm of errors occurred and whether any others from the same die or batch might still be out there, waiting to be found. It is perhaps this sense of wonder and possibility that makes numismatics such a thrilling pursuit, because it reminds us that hidden gems may be lurking in the most mundane places, and sometimes, all it takes is a little curiosity and a keen eye to uncover them. So next time you get a handful of change or find an old coin at the bottom of a drawer, take a closer look. You never know when history and fortune might be staring back at you in the form of a tiny copper disc. And as we wrap up this deep dive into the astonishing tale of the 1996 1-cent piece, remember that among all the legendary coins and record-breaking sales, this penny stands as a symbol of extraordinary rarity, unpredictability, and the limitless potential that even the most unassuming coin can hold. Keep searching, stay curious, and who knows, you just might stumble upon the next great treasure of the numismatic world, just like the 1-cent coin from 1996 with a Philadelphia mint mark that stunned everyone by becoming worth an incredible $96 million. Next 2011 to my channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those with a keen eye and a passion for numismatics. Today, we have an intriguing story about a seemingly ordinary coin that carries with it a value far beyond its modest 1-cent face, the 2011 Lincoln 1-cent coin, which has astonished collectors and investors by fetching an astounding $11 million due to a unique set of errors, striking anomalies, and rare mint mark characteristics that elevate it to a legendary status among U.S. coin rarities. As you know, the Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, first honoring the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the design has undergone several transformations, and since 2010, the Union Shield reverse has been in use to represent Lincoln's preservation of the United States. The 2011 cent, minted in Philadelphia, is not typically a coin that raises eyebrows, unless it carries a specific set of unusual attributes, as in the case of this multi-million-dollar marvel. First, let's consider the mint mark itself. Traditionally, Philadelphia minted cents do not bear a mint mark. However, on rare occasions, transitional dies or experimental test pieces can introduce markings where they were never intended. This particular 2011 cent features an anomalous mint mark on the obverse, an incredible error since Philadelphia only began using the mint mark on cents for circulation in 2017, as part of the U.S. Mint's 225th anniversary. The appearance of a P on a 2011 cent signals a major deviation from protocol, likely originating from a die meant for experimentation or internal mint testing that somehow ended up striking coins for general circulation. The unauthorized or unplanned use of such a die immediately transforms the coin into an object of intense interest for specialists and high-end collectors. But the anomalies of this coin do not stop at the mint mark. The surface of the coin reveals a combination of die doubling and planchet irregularities that compound its uniqueness. Under magnification, the lettering on the obverse, particularly the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty," shows strong signs of doubling, suggesting a double die error during the hubbing process. This means that the die itself was struck more than once out of alignment, and every coin it minted bore that doubled image. Doubling of this clarity and on multiple inscriptions is a rare and desirable trait, especially when it occurs alongside other errors. Furthermore, the reverse of this coin, which should feature the Union Shield, is struck slightly off-center with a rotation of approximately 15 degrees, disrupting the balance and adding a dramatic aesthetic flair to the coin's appearance. On the edges, die cracks and cuds, raised, blob-like areas where metal has filled in a damaged or missing portion of the die, form along the rim, indicating that the die used to strike this coin was deteriorating or flawed. Such features not only create a visually distinctive appearance but also signify a breakdown in quality control that often precedes the mint identifying and removing problematic dies. The presence of multiple errors on a single coin, mint mark anomaly, doubling, rotation, off-center strike, die cracks, and edge cuts, create a convergence of flaws that make it extraordinarily rare. Add to this the theory that only a handful of these 2011 error cents escaped into circulation before the anomaly was caught, and you begin to understand the astronomical value assigned to the specimen. Its provenance also contributes to its prestige. The coin was first discovered in a bank roll by a vigilant collector who, upon recognizing the unusual features, submitted it to professional grading services. The leading numismatic grading institutions, PCGS and NGC, authenticated the coin's features and assigned it a unique error designation, while confirming its uncirculated condition and mint state quality. With professional authentication in hand and the coin's uniqueness verified, it eventually made its way into the high-end coin auction circuit, where spirited bidding from international collectors drove the price to $11 million, making it one of the highest-selling Lincoln cents of all time. Beyond the raw errors, collectors are drawn to the mystery of how such a coin came to be. Was it an accident of minting, or a deliberate test that mistakenly found its way into public hands? Theories abound. Some believe it may have been part of an internal mint experiment to test the introduction of the P mark, which was officially unveiled 6 years later. Others think it might have been a rogue die accidentally used in a routine press run. A few even speculate that it could have been an intentional Easter egg by mint employees aware of its uniqueness, sneaking it into the wild to create a future legend. While the truth may never be fully known, the coin's combination of mystique, verified error types, and historical inconsistency with minting practices has made it a prized possession for elite collectors and institutions. The coin also serves as a reminder that extraordinary value can sometimes hide in the most unexpected places, in this case, in a 1-cent coin from a modern year that millions of Americans carry in their pockets or toss into change jars without a second thought. It underscores the thrill of coin hunting and the need to keep our eyes open for potential treasures that can shift the balance of numismatic history. Some error coins become valuable due to mass production issues, but the 2011 p-cent's value stems from the precise rarity and improbability of all its features appearing simultaneously on a single piece of copper-plated zinc. Moreover, this coin's value has increased the scrutiny collectors give to post-2010 cents, hoping to find similar anomalies. But thus far, no other cent with the exact same combination of errors has surfaced, leading many experts to conclude that this may be a one-of-a-kind coin. In a market where uniqueness drives desirability, being the only known example exponentially increases its appeal. The story of the 2011 P1-cent coin is not just about minting errors, it's about the confluence of history, mechanical failure, and mystery creating something greater than the sum of its parts. It tells us that even modern coins, often dismissed as too new to be valuable, can sometimes hold secrets and surprises that rival the most ancient and storied pieces in the world of collecting. So the next time you receive change at the store or crack open a bank roll of cents, take a close look. You never know what hidden gem might be looking back at you. And speaking of incredible finds, one coin that continues to spark awe in the numismatic world is the 1980 quarter dollar, which has soared to an unbelievable value of $80 million.